Tsvangirai is a flawed figure, not readily open to advice, decisive, questionable judgment. Wrote then US Ambassador to Zimbabwe, Chris Dale, in a leaked cable in 2007. He is an indispensable element for opposition success, but possibly an albatross around their necks once in power. In short, Zimbabwe needs him, but should not rely on his executive ability to lead the country's recovery. What Ambassador Dale said of Tsvangirai is equally true for all the other Zimbabwean leaders: Nelson Chamisa, Tendai Biti, Robert Mugabe, Emerson Mnangagwa, etc. They all have one thing in common. They are individuals of little intellect, with bloated egos. Put them into positions of power, their egos swell to the size of a hot air balloon. The more power they have, the more they want. And once they have absolute power, their egos swell to the size of the Zeppelin airship, full of flammable hydrogen. Their fall from power is dramatic and deadly, just like the Hindenburg Zeppelin. Someone who is not readily open to advice, indecisive, with questionable judgment, also has no clue what they are doing, where they are going, how they are going to get there. They just blunder from pillar to post. They will never admit they do not know what they are doing, much less admit their failures, even in the face of a mountain of evidence to prove it. Their ballooning egos get in the way. It is painful to have to listen to these brain-dead individuals blubbering on and on, often repeating themselves like a scratched vinyl record. Opposition MDC leader Nelson Chamisa has vowed to increase pressure on President Emerson Mnangagwa in the new year, revealing that 2019 is the year of implementing the transformation agenda and resolve the country's legitimacy crisis, quoted the Standard. We have to put a full stop to tyranny, dictatorship, and be on the path to reform, nation building, peace building. It will be a turnaround year, said Chamisa. It is a takeoff year, remedying the ailments affecting our country. Mr. Chamisa, the issue of legitimacy is a very important one, but one which you have clearly failed to understand. The Election Commission lacked full independence, appeared to not always act in an impartial manner, reported the EU Zimbabwe Election Mission in its final report. The final result, as announced by the Election Commission, contained numerous errors, lacked adequate traceability, transparency, and verifiability. Finally, the restrictions on political freedoms, the excessive use of force by security forces, and abuse of human rights in the post-election period undermine the corresponding positive aspect during the pre-election campaign. As such, many aspects of the 2018 elections in Zimbabwe failed to meet international standards. There can be no question that Mnangagwa and his junta blatantly rigged the recent elections, and therefore have no mandate to rule Zimbabwe. ZANU-PF is illegitimate, period. Your suggestion, Mr. Chamisa, that ZANU-PF and MDC should form the GNU as a way to resolve the illegitimacy problem shows you still do not understand the concept of the people's mandate as the only basis of legitimacy. The will of the people shall be the basis of the authority of government. This will shall be expressed in periodic and genuine elections, which shall be by universal and equal suffrage, and shall be held by secret vote or equivalent free voting procedures, to quote the UN Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Zimbabwe's recent elections were a mockery of that free, fair, and credible elections. ZANU-PF deliberately set out to subvert the democratic will of the people. The suggestion that MDC and ZANU-PF should just come to some amicable political arrangement and legitimize the blatant vote rigging and usurping of the people's inalienable right to a meaningful vote is just absurd. It will not solve anything. It should be restated here that you, Mr. Chamisa, and your fellow MDC alliance, the rest of the opposition parties and candidates who contested the recent elections, were warned not to participate in these elections without first implementing the reforms. You all paid no heed to the warning. MDC has stringent measures to stop ZANU-PF rigging the elections. You, Mr. Chamisa, hosted. The opposition knew with no reforms in place, ZANU-PF would rig the elections, and yet they still participated for the sake of a few gravy train seats they knew ZANU-PF was giving away, as David Coulthard readily admitted in his book. In his book, The Struggle Continues, 50 Years of Tyranny in Zimbabwe, former MDC Senator and Minister of Education in the GNU, David Coulthard, gave details of how ZANU-PF was flouting the electoral rules, and that it was clear the upcoming 2013 elections would not be free and fair. He admitted that talks to unite the two MDC factions to fight the elections as one were going nowhere. The worst aspect for me about the failure to agree a coalition was that both MDCs couldn't do the obvious withdraw from the elections, wrote Senator Coulthard. The electoral process was so flawed, so illegal, that the only logical step was to withdraw, which would have compelled SADC to hold ZANU-PF to account. But such was the distrust between the two MDCT and MDCN that neither could withdraw for fear that the other would remain in the elections, winning seats and giving the process credibility. Coulthard was talking about the 2013 elections. The main MDC factions did unite to form the MDC alliance for this year's elections, and yet still they participated. So the ZANU-PF and MDC alliance GNU would be to reward the illegitimate ZANU-PF for blatantly rigging the elections, and MDC alliance for failing to do the obvious, withdraw from the elections. How anyone can ever argue that that will produce a legitimate regime beggars belief. One of the greatest mistakes this nation has ever made was that ZANU-PF rigged the 1980 elections. The nation allowed the party to get away with it. It is no secret that ZANU-PF did not withdraw all its freedom fighters to assembly points as agreed. These fighters intimidated the people, forcing them to vote for the party. Once in power, ZANU-PF has used its position to erode the people's democratic freedoms and rights, to deny them their right to a meaningful vote, and even the right to life. Zimbabwe is in this economic and political mess because for the last 38 years, the nation has been ruled by a regime that has repeatedly rigged the elections to stay in power. The economic situation in the country is now dire, with unemployment soaring to dizzying heights of 90%. 75% of the people now live on $1 a day. And the economic meltdown is getting worse with the unending shortages of fuel, medicine, etc. The country needs a real solution, not a gimmick. Get out of this mess. ZANU-PF is illegitimate. The party must step down. The suggestion to legitimize the regime by forming the GNU is a dangerous gimmick designed to extend the country's brain-dead politicians stay in power, to massage their misplaced egos. Chamisa and Mnangagwa are the albatrosses round the nation's neck, just as Tsvangirai and Mugabe were a year ago. The 2019 New Year resolution for the people of Zimbabwe should be: we demand free, fair, and credible elections as a birthright and not a privilege. And all those who rig elections or are complacent in flawed elections must be punished and never, ever again rewarded with high office. Indeed, after what we have gone through these last 38 years, the people of Zimbabwe must commemorate Free Election Day in much the same way the Jews commemorate Passover, just to remind themselves of the heavy price the nation has paid for allowing illegitimate thugs